Do you suffer low self-esteem, or do you know somebody who does? Stay tuned.
TCT presents Public Report, a look at the issues and events of importance to our viewing area.
Welcome back to Public Report. I'm Jim Rouse, your host. Our next guest today is the co-pastor of New Life Worship Center, gospel singer, and founder of Girl Talk International, Rachel Wilson. And she has with her her volunteer, Bernadette Davis. Welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
We're so happy to have you with us.
We're happy to be here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Rachel.
Yes.
Tell me what Girl Talk is, what that means, and tell me about its roots, how you went about founding this project.
Okay. Girl Talk began about 4 months ago, and it came out of, let me just start and say, it came out of passion. I've always been a young lady that love to minister to young ladies like myself, or young women, young teens, and I found myself through the years ministering to them by way of giving them input on who to date in high school or not to date or to keep themselves. I was a young lady that was fortunate to keep myself till I was married, and so I found out with a lot of the friends and the associates that were around me that wasn't their story. So it increased my passion to want to be a spokesperson or to be a role model to help the young women. And as a result of that, I was burdened about that for years as a young lady at 16, and that carried through with me being married. And as I began to, as the Lord, I'm skipping around, but as the Lord opened the door for me to be the co-pastor of New Life Worship Center, in that place I dealt hand in hand with women that were abused, that had been raped. I became a counselor in ministry. And in that particular place, I began to say, Lord, I have to do more. I thank you for making me the co-pastor of New Life Ministry. I thank you for the times I get to minister every third Sunday. But it was something in me that was just nudging at me that you got to do more than this. Mm-hmm. Your call is bigger than just the four walls. And I found myself, and I can only speak for me, I found myself at the altar, interceding, and for those that don't know what that means intensively praying to God until something changed and happened. And I found myself at the altar weeping, saying, God, I got to do more. It's more in me. I'm seeing young ladies, preteens get pregnant. I'm seeing women that are abused, and they come to the church, many of them, and they still don't find help and restoration at the church. You know, oftentimes there are pastors that abuse their wives. And so I can go on and talk about abuse, but for me personally, I wanted to participate in helping change women. And at the altar, the Lord spoke to me and told me, Girl Talk. It was a whisper. I didn't understand what the whisper mean. I'm thinking, okay, Lord, Girl Talk. I talk a lot. My husband would tell you that. But he began to whisper it again, Girl Talk. So I got up off the altar and I wrote it down. And it was at that moment that he began to speak to me. This is what I want you to do. I want you to gather women together and begin to minister to them, create an atmosphere for them where they can talk.
You were one of those people that people naturally gravitated towards with their problems?
Yes, sir. A lot.
And girls with problems, perhaps abused women, women suffering physical and mental abuse, those are the women that you're targeting with Girl Talk? Yes, sir.
Those are the main areas that we're targeting. But women from all walks of life, no one's, we're not disqualifying or pushing anyone out the door, because even though I was never physically abused, I've been mentally abused. Mm-hmm. And anyone that have been mentally abused would tell you they would rather take a beating. And I've been through many altercations in my life where I dated guys and they mentally abused me, and that's worse. Also with best friends that I had, I went through mental abuse. So there's emotional abuse that I had in my life because I never had my father. I never met my father until last year. I turned 32 last year. That was the first time I met my father.
My goodness.
And that was an act of God also. So I can relate, in many ways with just being broken as a woman. And so I just want to say, for any woman that's out there, if you are a female, you are qualified to be a part of Girl Talk International.
So it doesn't matter what the age might be.
Well, I do want to say that we are trying our best to work it in place where little babies, you know, are not coming in, because we're trying to really bring healing to more of the younger ladies. And what I mean by that are preteens. Even, I would even go as far as saying 10 and up. That's really our age bracket we're trying to reach. But because of a lot of the women that are coming in, they're 16 years old, they have a baby. We have a 14-year-old that's due with child. We don't want to, you know, we don't want to push them out, because some of them don't have a babysitter. So therefore, they've been bringing their child there, and I don't want to tell them that they cannot be a part of Girl Talk.
Bernadette, what is your role with Girl Talk as a volunteer?
What I do as a volunteer is like networking, getting Girl Talk out there to the community, getting sponsorships, going to local businesses that will, you know, will help us out here, you know, getting the word out about Girl Talk.
So how are you funded then?
We are funding through donations, sponsorships. A lot of people are coming forth to sponsor us. A lot of people are putting more time in Girl Talk, wanting to help.
Is that part of your function, is finding people to donate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and if somebody watching right now wanted to donate, what number would they call to reach you?
Well, you can say it.
They will call us at area code 336-317-3594 or area code 336-375-6513.
Okay. Something happens every second and fourth Friday of every month.
I get happy thinking about it.
Good, good. Tell us what that is, what's happening those days.
Every second and fourth Friday of the month, that's when the world shakes, I believe, because women are gathered together everywhere. Right now, we're dealing with just women in the triad. So they're coming as far as High Point, Winston-Salem, Raleigh, Charlotte, all over the city of Triad. Women are coming to meet together at 7 o'clock. And I just want to give a small synopsis of how it began. When the women enter the door, they sign
our guest book.
Our guest book, thank you. And then from there, we give them popcorn, we give them candy, we give them drinks to come in. It's our way of respecting their presence and to get them in the mood for ministry. Because what I believe is oftentimes we charge people too much. There comes a time where when you want someone to be healed and when you're concerned about the personal estate of what they've gone through, there's no price tag. So we do the work behind the scenes. God and us, He uses us to do the work behind the scenes. So it is made available for us to give out free refreshments. And that is our time for about 15 minutes. We just fellowship with the women. I hug them personally. I embrace them. I let them know you are important. God set this together for you. And that alone, it tears down the walls of women, because some of those women have been raped. They've been abused. Some of them have been divorced. They've had multiple abortions. And I can go on with the abuse that women, there's a lot of times there's not ministry for women. So we set the stage. That's how we set the stage for them, just to welcome them in. And then from there, I just want to briefly say, when they come in, we ask them to put their questions in a basket without a name. So I'm telling all you women that is interested in Girl Talk, we don't want you to put your name on it. We want it to be anonymous, because it is your dignity. We're trying to respect what you've been through. And what they do when they put their names and their questions in the basket, we randomly draw questions out of the basket. And it would be mind-boggling for you to see the questions that women put in there. It is amazing. The abuse that they've gone through, the rape that they've gone through. I mean, it's molestation, being beaten at home by their husbands or by their boyfriends, being tormented and stuck in relationships. There's times we were just speechless in there. And so once we begin to randomly go through the questions, then we have a time where at 8 o'clock, about 30 minutes after we just fellowship and they get a chance to express themselves, women get a chance to come up on the microphone and help other women heal by telling their testimonies. So that is one of the main things that we do. And at 8 o'clock, and I'm just giving you a rundown so women would know out there what we do. At 8 o'clock, we serve a full meal. When I say full meal, it's a full meal. We serve their full meal for free. No, we do not charge. We don't charge for this. We do not want to charge, because that is the purpose of the healing mechanism that we're working with. That is the part of their rejuvenation, is that we're giving them things for free to let them know we don't want anything from you. This is your season, and this is your time to be healed.
That's wonderful.
Yes, sir.
You're located at the New Life Worship Center.
Yes, sir.
And where is that exactly?
That is 1901 Lindu Street, and that is Greensboro, North Carolina, 27408. And I hope that every female that is hearing this, please come, invite your auntie, invite your cousin, invite your sister, especially if you know that they have been through something. We're calling all women. Even if your life is all together, I need you to stand up and tell other women how to put theirs together. But especially those women that have been abused, we're asking you, and I'm calling out even a clarion call to the women all over this city. You need to be a part of Girl Talk International to help me spread the good news.
There is hope.
Yes, it is.
There is hope for suffering women.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's wonderful. I'd be remiss, Rachel, if I didn't mention, I'm sure people watching are saying right now, she's a singer. Rachel Wilson is a gospel singer, and this is one of her most recent
Yes, sir. It was
CDs.
Released in April 2008. And
you also wrote a number of the songs?
Yes, sir. Actually, I can't even take the credit. I wrote one song on there fully, myself, but my husband, we both co-wrote about at least, I think about 8 to 10 of those songs on there. We both together have designed. God has given us the gift to write those.
So in addition to Girl Talk, you've been called to a ministry of music.
Oh, absolutely.
You've performed with some fairly well-known gospel artists, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Who are some of the people who have been privileged to perform with you?
Well, I've had an opportunity to sing and open the door, open the concert for Keith the Wonder Boy Johnson. What was his name? Willie? We put it on there. It's another one on. I think we wrote it on there. His name is Willie Johnson. Is that correct? Willie Johnson. I was fortunate to be able to share the same stage and sing with Pastor Shirley Caesar, and that was through a concert she had, and she was able to give me the mic, and I was able to sing and minister back to her, because she also too is one of my role models. So I love her. But and that's just to name a few. I was fortunate to win a one-time trip to the Stellar Awards, where I was able to sit and hang with Fred Hammond, Yolanda Adams, eat with them, take pictures with them. They was able to mentor me for a short time and talk with me. Dorinda Clark Cole, I was able to sing on the stage, have a private session with Dorinda Clark Cole and the Verity Record Company, also in Detroit, Michigan. So God has opened up many doors, and I know there are many to come.
Rachel, Bernadette, we certainly appreciate your time with us today.
Yes, sir.
It's been interesting, and we also thank you, our viewing audience. We thank you for joining us on Public Report. We hope that you join us again soon, and we'll look forward to having you back. I'm Jim Rouse, saying goodbye.
This has been Public Report. Public Report discusses the issues of interest and importance to our viewing area. Please remember that the views expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily represent the views of TCT or the station.